Hey, what's up everybody? BDL 44 coming at you in another video. All right, so we're talking about the OKC Thunder coming to town to play the LA Lakers tonight at 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. And the Oklahoma City Thunder are a really good team. In fact, last I checked, they were tied for the #1 overall seed in the Western Conference right now with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Maybe Timberwolves might have won a game since that, because I read that somewhere after the last game Oklahoma played. So I didn't check the standings myself, but they're in that range, man. They're right there with them if they're not at the top. And because of it, we got a tough task ahead of us. Now, the good news is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is on the injury report as a game-time decision, dealing with a knee of some sort. Hopefully he decides to just rest and not give this game a go. But given the fact it's the Lakers, anybody and everybody wants to play against the Lakers when they're hurt or come back against the Lakers or what have you. Also, Lindsey Waters III is listed as questionable as well with an illness last I checked. So that is the injury report for them. They're pretty much healthy. We're missing Cam Reddish, as I requested in one of my previous Laker videos. We just shut him down for probably another 2 weeks to let him actually heal from that knee, because he keeps bringing him back and he keeps dealing with knee soreness. So whatever the case may be with that knee, it's not healed up and he shouldn't be running around. So I definitely agree with shutting him down for a little bit. Of course, we know Gabe Vincent is going to be out for a million years with whatever the hell surgery, knee surgery, that irritating situation there. And other than that, we should be good to go. I don't know that if Rui's still going to be on minutes restriction. He was in the last game, which is why we didn't see him in the fourth quarter, despite really needing him on it. But nevertheless, we'll have pretty much everybody else. LeBron James is not on the injury report, so he should be able to give it a go. Anthony Davis, game time decision last I checked, but he's always a game time decision. He'll be going, I'm sure. And, we'll be ready to go. The last time we played the OKC Thunder, we won the game on their home turf. They did not have Josh Giddey, but they had pretty much everybody else, so we were able to squeeze out a nice victory there. But I know they're going to come out with a certain level of respect for us because of it. Even though we weren't playing well then, aren't playing well now, we may play well against them. So I'd expect for them to expect us to play well against them. In fact, we were a 2-point favorite to win this basketball game last I checked with ESPN's rankings. So I don't know if I agree with that. But hey, man, we're happy that people still believe in us to whatever degree. But it's a situation where the Lakers came out in the last game, had a lot of energy offensively, but couldn't get more than 13 points out of Anthony Davis, despite his second career triple-double being credited in that basketball game. We had 5 out of 21 from him from the field, and that just ain't going to be enough. But we did have a D'Lo game. He went for 39 points and really, really shot the ball extremely well without LeBron James on the floor, which is something I'd expect. If we send him somewhere, I do expect if there's no player out there that would take away his shooting, his rhythm duties, allow him to kind of have the ball in his hands a good portion of the time, he's going to shoot right back up into a very highly efficient and more so consistent player. Because I think it's having him play off the ball and having him not have the ball in his hands, having him have to pick his spots in between other people, all getting shots over and over again and making playmaking actions happen for themselves around him, sitting him down and not really giving him consistent 30 minutes play with the ball in his hands is really what takes away from what it is he ultimately is about. And if you give him 3 or 4 games where that duty is in his hands, I'm pretty certain he's going to get back to playing well, because that's just how he's wired. So I just don't like the role that he's been in. I've been saying that for longer than 2 months. And, without LeBron James, he really shined out there. So I do expect for Bron to be back, and I do expect for D'Lo to probably get back into the starting lineup, given the fact that that's how he performed, being reinserted back in the starting lineup for the first time in about 2 or 3 weeks. So, we do have a situation where our team doesn't all fit well with one another, but we got to find ways of keeping our best players on the floor any dang way. So D'Lo really shined in that last game, and if he could have had any help from AD scoring the ball, I think we would have had a great chance of winning that basketball game. But since we didn't, we didn't. So that's kind of how that went, man. And now we go forward into the OKC matchup, where OKC has won, I believe, 4 out of their last 5 games or something like that. They've kind of played some weak teams. They had a game against Orlando last where both teams shot under 23% from behind the arc. Hopefully that carries over. But they still managed to get a 12-point win against the OKC Thunder. Against the Orlando Magic. They've also had previous games against the Miami Heat and the Washington Wizards. And I mean, they're just kind of beating up on those squads with rather ease. And I think that the last loss they had was about 4 games ago against the Brooklyn Nets, surprisingly enough. I think that's how that went. But, this is a team that's really good, man. They don't lose too often. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's been going crazy. Of course, I forgot about the Portland game where they won by 62 points, the 5th largest margin in NBA history. That was the game they had right before the Orlando game. And, this is what this team is capable of. Now, that game was a little strange because it was a perfect storm of the Portland Trailblazers being ice cold and the OKC Thunder being red hot. So when you have those two things going on and both teams are just going in opposite directions, you get something like that. But 62 points is still absolutely insane. And I don't expect the Lakers to allow that to happen tonight at all. The way our offense has been playing, we should be able to at least keep up to a degree with their offense. Now, our defense, on the other hand, I think we've kind of punted defense in a way by kind of getting away from defensive players and putting them in defensive rotations, trying to push all our chips into the offensive side of the ball. And as a result, we've been scoring more, but our defense hasn't been good. We started Austin Reeves and D'Lo, and we know that's a red flag. That's a rule against our team, more or less. You cannot play those players in the same rotation for too long because your defense is going to suffer because of it. And we suffered defensively really bad in that Utah game. So I would prefer we get Austin back on the bench if we want to start D'Lo, or put D'Lo on the bench if you want to start Austin. But given the fact we saw D'Lo play the way that he did in the last one, I think he should probably be the guy starting until further notice, man. Speaking of until further notice, we have the ability to trade players today. And the only 2 people that are not eligible for trade on our roster are Vanderbilt and Anthony Davis. So at this point, you would imagine that the Lakers would be fielding calls and trying to put themselves in a position to do that very thing. Make some trades and get maybe an influx of new players that could kind of help our squad. Just overall be a better team for Darvin to hold on to, since we now know that Jeanie Buss has given him the rest of the year at the very least to continue coaching this team regardless of how bad the team is. He's been given a guarantee. So, we're gonna deal with that, man. It is what it is. Hopefully good things can come from him having more job security rather than bad things, for which I would imagine would trickle down when you tell a guy who hasn't been performing well that he's gonna keep his job. But it is what it is, man. He's got a chance to go up against a team that he's already beaten once this year, the OKC Thunder, and hopefully win that coaching battle. Austin Reeves, did he shoot well? Yes. Was the plus minus any good? Hell no. I think he was like a minus 27. He's just getting cooked defensively. It's bad. Right now his defense is just not helping us at all, and we need him to be in rotations that kind of help facilitate him into situations where he can have rim protection and help defensive players on him and stuff like that. Help defensive players kind of help him rather on his offensive assignments, because it's horrible right now. And we just need him to be better. He's been able to do the things that he does well offensively, though. The 3-point shot is starting to come back around. He's still getting his 3-point play, playing through the whistle and things like that. We love those aspects of his game. But we need his defense to not be such a damn problem right now. So that's on the coach to kind of help him along with that, with his deficiencies, just like everybody else, kind of hide him a little bit, if at all possible. So these are the type of things we've been thinking about, man. It's been a rather frustrating season thus far for the Laker fans. We're below 500. We've won the in-season tournament, but have only won maybe 3 games since then. It's just been a long season, and we still got a long way to go. It's not even a halfway point yet. So hopefully with the trade deadline, we kind of turn some things around, if at all possible, and just overall improve, because right now the only thing we've proven is that we can win an in-season tournament. That's pretty much it. Everything else has just been maybe we'll show up, maybe we won't. We've lost games against Phoenix where only basically 2 people were down there cooking all of our defenders. I mean, it's just been a very frustrating couple of weeks since that tournament ended. And while we're happy to have won that, everybody got $500,000. At the end of the day, we're not seeing a whole lot to show for anything else. So not satisfied, man. Definitely not satisfied. But This game against OKC, it's not going to get any easier for our schedule. We got Dallas coming in on Wednesday, Luka and Kyrie. I don't know if Luka's going to play in that game, but Kyrie's been on such a tear. You'd imagine he's going to be able to tear us up just like those guys did with Phoenix. So, we're hopeful that we can get something out of our guys as well to match that. But for the time being, we got a tough game ahead with this OKC Thunder. You're dealing with Chet Holmgren. You're dealing with Jalen Williams, both of them, Kendrick Williams. Josh Giddey will be out there, and he usually rebounds the ball especially well against us for some reason, and he's on a nice tear. So we need to pay attention to Josh Giddey. Ousmane Dang is a player who plays well. Lindsey Waters, if he does go, he torches us a good portion of the time. Isaiah Joe is a good player that they have as well, shooting the ball for them. They're just very deep, man. Luguentz Dort is a player who can play some defense and also shoot the ball at times, though he's really, really streaky shooting the ball. He's a hell of a pest on the defensive end, a very strong player. So the talent on this team just goes on and on forever, man. It's just one of those situations where you're going to need all your depth. You need everybody to play well. You need more than 13 points out of Anthony Davis. You need LeBron James to be 100%. All of these things are necessary to go up against this team, whether Shai's on the floor or not. But if Shai is on the floor, you could expect for him to go for about 37 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists or something like that. He's just an MVP candidate who's doing all the great things that you would expect from a player of his caliber. Defending, scoring, getting people involved, stealing the ball, getting in fast break situations, finishing through contact, hitting the three, everything you need, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is capable of doing. And even though he's on the road, that should not affect a player like that at all. So we got our hands tied with this team, man. They're deep. They have a bunch of ball handlers. They have two-way players. A guy like Cason Wallace, if Lindsey Waters III isn't out there, you'd expect him to get more minutes, and that's not good for you because he's a defensive player and a scorer who tends to do good things with big minutes. So it just goes on and on forever, man. This team knows no end when it comes to their depth. I think Dario Saric is also on this team, if I'm not mistaken. Dario Saric's a veteran power forward who can tend to stretch the floor and do some things with his size as well. Poku, I don't know how to actually say his name, but his length goes on forever. I think he's outside of rotation, but he's definitely a talented player who can help himself to steals and deflections and hit shots and things like that. So, like I said, this is one of the deepest teams in the NBA. They have a fantastic war chest of picks as well. They're going to win a championship at some point with all of this wealth that they have. And right now they just look like one of the best teams in the world. Chet Holmgren is a fantastic shot blocker, scorer. He has guard skills at 7'3". You can't put a price tag on what he brings to the table as well with rim protection and things of that nature. One of the leading candidates for Rookie of the Year this year. Even though he was drafted last year, he missed all of his season off of a Liz Frank injury that he suffered against our very own LeBron James in a summer league type of off-league matchup, something that I was outside the NBA that took place last summer. So, he's especially interested in beating the Lakers, just like everybody else on this squad, and we need to be ready for them at 100%. Or we're going to get knocked off 100%. I can tell you right now, it's going to take everything to beat the OKC Thunder, especially since we beat them in the last matchup. So tonight, your Los Angeles Lakers are going to be wearing their black uniforms. We definitely like those, the in-season tournament ones, even though they made us not wear those in the championship game because of whatever the heck reason they said, epilepsy possibilities based on the floor, which was red and blue, which really didn't make any sense. But whatever, we're wearing those black uniforms tonight, our city jerseys. And OKC Thunder will be wearing their home whites on our floor tonight. So that's really where it stands for me, man. I don't particularly love this matchup for the Lakers tonight, but I didn't love them the last time we saw them, and we won. So maybe we can have their number this season in some way. But my hope is that Shai will not play. That's my hope, that he'll sit this one out and let the Lakers run around without him and put the ball in Giddey and J-Dub's hands, rather, and see what happens there. But those guys are capable of going crazy. J-Dub went nuts on us in the game that we won. He's capable of a triple-double, scoring 30, 40 points, whatever. Like, he's an all-star level player going forward. So is Josh Giddey. So the talent on this team knows no end. The depth on this team is very, very extensive. and their coaching is very good. So that's really what it is, man. You just have to understand how good of a team this is as a contender. And maybe that speaks to our presence showing up, given the fact that we showed against the tournament teams, everybody we saw in the tournament, considering it was important, we showed up. And maybe we'll do that here since this is one of the bigger teams in the league. As far as, importance and first overall seeding, that's the kind of thing that wakes the Lakers up. So, with rest that Bron received in the last game, and with AD coming off a game where two games where he's been scoring significantly lower than what we'd expect, his middies kind of disappeared on us. Even though he shot it a hell of a lot of times against Utah, that mid-range shot didn't fall not one time to my count. But hopefully he can get back on track tonight at home and just get some scoring going from our stars, because that's really where we've been struggling for the last 2 weeks. I consider it a protest against the coach, to be honest with you. But I would be surprised if we have scored 100 points between Bron and AD over the last 3 games, because they really have been scoring low as hell, man. And Bron, of course, hadn't played very much in the last 3 games. So that's really what it comes down to. We just need our stars to reestablish their focus, reestablish themselves healthy, and put forth an effort against the OKC Thunder that will match what's coming at us. Because if they don't, it's going to be a long night, man. It's going to be a long night. So that's really what it comes down to. I don't want to see any letdowns. I don't want to get blown out. I understand my team's limitations, but I do want us to put up a fight. We have won games like this in the past this season, so there's no reason to think that just because we're missing some players that we can't. I'd expect for Max Christie to get some minutes tonight, given the fact that we're out on Cam Reddish, with him being out of the game, rather. I do expect that our new guy will get an opportunity as well, since we put him in the fourth quarter of a meaningful game yesterday. Against the Utah Jazz. So Skylar Mays is somebody we're excited about, and hopefully he can work his way into regular rotation, because he's a hell of a player and has proven that. And yet another ball handler that we could trust, more or less. So I really like the idea of putting him in, just making sure we sub him in times that make sense for our team, not subbing out somebody who's red hot like we did in the last game. D'Lo had it going and we subbed him out and put Skylar in at a random moment, and it went in the wrong direction for us. So, it's not just who you sub in, but when, and hopefully our coaching staff can improve starting tonight, in some areas that have really been glaring over the last several weeks. So that's really what it is, man. Good rotations, respect for the opponent, forgetting the last game and forgetting how the Phoenix game went, and just coming in with a certain level of focus that will respect the team ahead of us. And hopefully D'Lo can stay hot, man. That's really a thing. The fact that he had such a fantastic shooting night against Utah, I'm curious to see if he's going to be consistent or if he's just going to go back to being D'Lo, give us like 7 points, 4 rebounds, that kind of thing. Because a lot of times with D'Lo, the inconsistency is evident. So hopefully we can get another good game out of him. Hopefully Austin Reeves can tighten it up defensively somehow and continue to be efficient from behind the arc and just be better this year. This is a very low year for Austin Reeves specifically. And I think, taking Rui off the minutes restriction will really help. We need him on the floor. We need his size. We need his scoring, obviously. We need his defensive ability. We need his rebounding. So hopefully we can get Rui out there playing well, and that's really what it is, man. That's the thought. I'm not so excited about the roster. I am excited about this being trade eligibility day, and I'm hopeful that our GM is wheeling and dealing and making some phone calls to try to improve this roster right now, man. That's what I'm hopeful for. I'm ready to see some moves. I'm ready to see some ESPN updates or something. You know what I mean? There's some Woj bombs. It's time, man. Our team is average, and if we want to win a championship, average is obviously not good enough. So starts tonight, man. We got to put up a fight against the OKC Thunder, protect this house, show this team that we are also one of the best teams in the league, even though the stats don't necessarily tell us that. But we know when we have Bron and AD, we have an opportunity to win a championship, and it starts in games like this where you put your foot down and say enough of this losing, enough of this mediocre basketball. It's time to reestablish who we are as Lakers and do it against a really good team. So that's pretty much what I have to say, man. Hopefully good things happen. I'm a bit exhausted of this team and its inconsistencies and the mediocre play and the supreme highs and supreme lows. I'm over it, man. I just want this team to improve right now. And if that means moving on from certain players and staff, then I'm all for it. But at this point, staying in no man's land hell, as I like to call it, is unacceptable. It's not worth our time. So that is what I will leave you with, man. Hopefully the Lakers make me feel great about this game. I'm excited about being excited, if nothing else. And hopefully we can have a bounce back, because those last two games, hell, these last 2 weeks, our team has been pretty flat. So that's pretty much what I got to say. My name is BDF44. I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.